Heading over to Stillwater, Utah comes in there, no Cam Rising, and says, "Sorry, you're a bad football team, and we are a good one." Okay, that's exactly what happened. We both took Utah. It was on our best bets. We put it out on Twitter. I mean, when you say, first of all, what is wrong with Oklahoma State that they can't run the ball with Ollie Gordon? You have fifth year senior after fifth year senior on that offensive line, and you still can't find a way to get him going. This is getting ridiculous now. There's too much pressure right now on Alan Bowman to be throwing the football. And of course, he gets benched for a little bit there by Garrett Rangel, who was even worse. So it was even worse. And Utah just looked awesome, dude. Micah Bernard, again, awesome. Jaquin Jackson is doing his thing in Arkansas. Micah Bernard's doing his thing in Utah. Kind of a win-win, I think, for both teams in that sense. I think if Jaquin Jackson was healthy, I think he would be absolutely outstanding in this Utah offense. But I think Utah's like after this week in the Big 12, it's looking like a one bid league right now, unless BYU has something to say about it for some reason.
Unless they do, I don't know, man. But listen, about this game here, it was do not box score snipe. Do not, oh, look, it was 22-19. Oklahoma State made it close.
No.
Sure, they did, but it really wasn't ever close. And the way that they dominated, if you are Oklahoma State, you cannot let Utah come into your building and outrush you by 200 yards. Obviously, negative game script had something to do with it, but still, you cannot abandon the run. Ollie Gordon, yes, he's not running the ball great, but he only had 11 carries. 11 carries, man. I don't know, man. 11 carries with what, like 14 touches with three receptions. So obviously something has to change there. We've seen Oklahoma State plenty of times get better throughout the season. So I'm not going to write them off totally, but right now something has to change for Utah, though. And gosh, I have zero idea when Cam Rising is coming back. Zero idea. Even if, right, whatever, right? But I do think with the way Dorian Singer, which by the way, super underrated pickup in the portal,
Yeah.
he's been playing great. And Kuthi,
Right, Keith?
Brent Keith, he's obviously welcome back for Utah, one of the better tight ends in college football. Obviously, the Big 12 for sure. And Isaac Wilson, man, true freshman. Obviously, I'm sure internally he felt and he knew that he was starting all week, but to go out on the road, obviously throw the two interceptions, but he still played a pretty clean football game. And he's interesting. This is not, your
This is better
uh,
quarterback play than we saw from Utah last year.
significantly, significantly. And obviously, Cam Rising, I want him to get healthy because I want him to play and get back into college football, like get back into a groove. But for right now, man, Isaac Wilson's a dog. He's a dog. I feel pretty good. I still feel good about Utah winning the rest of their games on their schedule, even with Isaac Wilson. I do think Cam Rising is the guy to take them to the next step and to be able to actually compete in a playoff football game. But for right now, not to get ahead of ourselves, Utah is looking really good. I think we confirmed our suspicions. The fact that that line moved across zero, criminal, absolutely criminal. And I don't know what made it move. Obviously, I'm sure it has something to do with Cam Rising, but yeah. And for Oklahoma State, like I said, give more touches to Ollie Gordon. Alan Bowman's a great quarterback when things are not on him. Like you said, Stribling, Presley, Owens, those are good receivers. Freeman's even solid too. If they are supplementary pieces to this offense, it's a dangerous offense. And we've seen that before last year, especially. But Ollie Gordon needs to get going, and they need to make him get going. Otherwise, it could be a long conference slate for the Cowboys.
42 minutes to 17 minutes on the time of possession difference. That's what kind of dominance we're talking about. Yeah, sure, Utah wasn't able to put the ball in the end zone as many times as you would like with a true freshman quarterback or whatever. And here's the thing, when Cam Rising is healthy, I was talking about this with someone the other day, and when I'm looking at the parity kind of across college football, I look at Ohio State kind of right now in my eyes, and that team looks kind of the part as just the up and away best team in college football. I would put Georgia in there if they looked better against Kentucky. I would put Texas in there if they had if Michigan didn't look so bad, up into this point. Alabama, I would put in there if they didn't look so terrible for UCF against USF for a couple quarters. But Utah is one of those teams where if they make the college football playoffs, I still think that they can be dangerous with Cam Rising because of the level of talent that they have on the defensive side of the football and the way that they've been able to make plays this far. Now, here's the thing: Oklahoma State has a bottom 30 defense in most metrics so far this year. All right. So I'm not going to put all my stock in Utah yet, but I believe in my best bets, at preseason best bets, I think I had a parlay where I had Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia, and Utah all to make the playoffs at plus 420. I believe you parlay those now, it's like plus 200. So I'm feeling pretty good about Utah's odds to make the college football playoffs and, win the Big 12. Now, of course, this is the Big 12, and Utah has got to learn that anything can happen in the Big 12. But I'm really liking the spot that Utah's in. They've looked the part as the best team in the Big 12 that we thought they were going to be.
Yeah, now I think there are some dangerous football teams, right? I mean, BYU, I think we have no idea how good they really are. I think Colorado, when I say dangerous, I just think, high end talented there. UCF, the way they can run the ball, and same with Iowa State. You're looking at a November that all of a sudden turns into a pretty interesting November. We kind of talked about Utah early in the season, like, okay, get past September, Oklahoma State and Arizona, get into your bye, and then you can kind of coast. But all of a sudden that November looks really interesting. By the way, though, let's not forget about Oklahoma State. I mean, they should not have beaten Arkansas, but they did, right? They did beat Arkansas. And that Arkansas team is probably going to go to a bowl game. I feel pretty good in saying that with the way their schedule is laid out and how they've looked so far. And yeah, I mean, they should have won that football game. But yes, obviously, a lot of things have to change. I do think all of a sudden this week's game against Kansas State looks, I don't want to say not exciting because we're going to preview it. So make sure you watch that video. But it just felt like it was going to have a lot more significance to it, right? But based on the way these teams have looked so far, it's almost like, do we really going to put too much stock into the winner or too much stock in the loser? Obviously, it will be an interesting game, though. But like you said, it's the Big 12. It's a long season. Anything can happen.